Hey guys, Gavin here. Today we're going to be reviewing Fluctus by Nakst Audio, N-A-K-S-T. This is a fantastic frequency modulation plugin. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So we got three operators or oscillators. Each of them are linked together with one specific modulator. So operator 1 links to operator 3, operator 2 links to operator 1, and you can just play with it to come up with some kind of crazy sounds. When you first turn it on, so quiet, it's like a little triangle / sine wave. Initially, if I adjust this operator 3, you don't hear any difference, but you see that the preview over on operator 3 has changed. So if I were to turn on operator 3 without mod 3, here's what we got. Just a louder sine. If I adjust modulator, this modulator on operator 1, here's what happens. That's frequency modulation. So similar stuff happens if I turn on operator 2. Just a louder sine, adjust the operator. Not the best keyboardist, but yeah. So you can see that there's a lot of neat little possibilities with that, and it gets even crazier when you turn on this one over here. Just crazy noise possibilities with all that. There's a bright control for each of them. So if I were to turn off operator 1 and 2, see that it just kind of widens the sine wave a little. So if I were to keep that modulator on, notice how I have to tweak this one to get it to stop affecting both of these. Then I adjust the bright. You can hear how it just adds a little bit of sonic overtones to it. You can, adjust the pitch. Which, as you've noticed with the modulator on, changes how that functions. With it off, it's just normal pitch shifting. Then there's detune. So let's harshen that a little. It's almost like adding a very slight pitch LFO, if you will. You can just kind of fiddle with all that to come up with some neat little sounds. There's also the ability to adjust the initial phase of the sound. You can make it even random, which is kind of nice if you're trying to avoid some phase cancellation. And as you notice, that actually changes the sound completely every time you play the key. So for now, keep it on 0. There's also a frequency ratio. So this being a frequency modulation plugin, the way in the speed at which different frequencies play are what determine the sound synthesis. So the frequency ratio makes it do a lot more. Nice and buzzy and all that, and then changing the frequency ratio can drastically alter what your modulators do. Let me turn that up a tad. That's a little better. All right. Same kind of thing. I haven't tried playing with these other frequency ratios. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Nice little buzzy, bassy synth, which is kind of fun. You notice that the volume now changes the sound quite a bit. Now, a couple of neat things is that each individual operator has its own ADSR. So, if I want to make certain characteristics punchy, turn down the sustain and simply adjust the decay. That's a neat little feature too, where you can see as I adjust it, it creates a small little window to show what the envelope is going to look like. So now, let's see what it does. I love it because that already sounds kind of fun to me. And that's an interesting thing. If I turn the sustain off, we get rid of a lot of the modulation that we just did. So decay over here. Just for a free plugin, this has an unusual amount of fun features to it. So that's one section of the plugin. There's also, excuse me, a saturator. Just fattens the sound a tad, which is kind of nice. Notice it's a little clicky too. If you increase the release time just a touch, that gets rid of the click. If you really just want to be absurdly punchy, you can really boost the saturator. Or do just a little to fatten up the bass a bit. That's one thing I find is awesome for FM plugins like this. They make awesome bass sounds. Then, of course, there's our good old filter with an envelope controller, the ADSR envelopes themselves, the ability to do a 24 dB low pass or high pass filter. So if I turn on the envelope, so you'll notice the envelope amount determines how strong the amplitude of the individual ADSR controls becomes. Let's see. So that's a lot of fun with all that. There's also a good old ping pong delay. Let's say I do a couple things to make this go a little higher pitched. Shorten my decay time for all of that. Let's just keep it like that simple little blip. Got all that. Turn on my ping pong delay. It's a fairly long delay there too. So if I decrease, I don't know how to adjust that a whole lot. Let's see. Gain to apply to the dry signal before the first echo, and the gain to apply for each subsequent echo. Okay, so hang on. I don't know why, but I really like how it processes that ping pong. There's a modulate thing. I don't know what this does. Let's find out. I don't know. Like, how does that work? I'm probably doing something wrong there, because I have no idea what this is supposed to modulate in the delay. So, it does something. I haven't figured it out yet. Then there's a phaser. Let's see, let's fiddle with some stuff here, just a moment. So, you can set the phaser in mono or stereo mode. So let me see if I can make something a little buzzier. What the? So that's another thing. Frequency modulation, you gotta be a little careful with it. Because, geez, what is that? Okay, hang on a sec. Let's see. It's kind of interesting, though. Just that volume a tad. I do like that it has this dedicated volume knob up here. That's kind of neat. Now we can play with the phaser a little easier. I'm having fun playing with this. So, lots of fun stuff that you can do with this bad boy. So, we got also global velocity to amplitude. So, I have my velocity turned off on my MIDI controller. So hang on, let me turn it back on. That just makes it so that it actually responds to velocity on the keys. And high quality. Alters the sound significantly. I believe that increases the sample rate of the sound or something to that effect. You have the ability to control what level of polyphony you want on there. There's some extra settings on here, so you can make the thing outlandishly large, which is actually kind of impressive because I want to say that this is using vector graphics to do so. Because, I mean, we just made it huge and nothing got distorted in size. 120 back to 100%. You have the ability to adjust the skin a little, create your own custom one if you want. I'll be honest when I say I have no idea how that works. And this is painful to look at. Go back to Classic. You can adjust how quickly the user interface adjusts to input. There's an About section, visit your website, all that basic stuff. So, what's my opinion of this plugin? I think that this one is a lot of fun to work with as far as like making bass synths and stuff. I find it a little difficult to work with and understand. It'd be nice if you could actually control which modulator controls what. Like if you could alter that, like if I click over here on Mod 2, nothing happens. I think it is a powerful plugin for being free. This one's great for making bass lines of all kinds. I think that it could benefit from some additional features. The ability to add an LFO, the ability to add or control the resonance of your filter. So I can see why all these individual features are here, and I do think that they play well together, they work well together. I like the fact that even in a free plugin, it actually does have a decent number of onboard effects. It's nice that it's all on one interface. I'm not having to go through multiple menus to navigate everything. I think it's a powerful little synth to play with, especially if you're just starting to dip your feet into frequency modulation. This is a good one to kind of just experiment with. I like it especially in that I loved the Wasp plugin that's available only on the 32-bit version of FL Studio, and I would love it if they updated that to 64-bit. I enjoyed playing with that one a lot back in the day. So this kind of scratches the itch that Wasp left behind, since I don't bother using the 32-bit version. It won't use all the RAM I have. So it cause more underruns and all sorts of stuff like that. So, my personal opinion, I can recommend this plugin, though be prepared to tweak a lot of settings, as you've seen me do, to get the kind of sound that you want. Frequency modulation is always a little trickier to work with than some other kinds of modulation and synthesis. But that is my review of Fluctus. If you enjoy the video, first off, thank you for watching it all the way through. If you enjoyed it, please hit like and subscribe, and the noti bell, because apparently the noti bell matters. Aside from that, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.